So, Hare Krishna, everyone, welcome. This is Krishna Dasa. So, today we are going to start the 11th chapter. And before we begin, let me say the prayers to Guru and God. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitamena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. I'll play the Guru mantra.
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्मा तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः। तस्मै श्री गुरुवे नमः।
Hare Krishna. Okay, I'll play the Shlokas. Today we're going to cover 11.1 to 11.8. So please keep the translations ready.
अथ एकादशोऽध्यायः विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगः। अर्जुन उवाच मदनुग्रहाय परमं गुह्यमध्यात्मसंज्ञितम् यत्त्वयोक्तं वचस्तेन मोहोऽयं विगतो मम। भवाप्ययौ हि भूतानां श्रुतौ विस्तरशो मया त्वत्तः कमलपत्राक्षमाहात्म्यमपि चाव्ययम्। एवमेतद्यथार्थत्वम् आत्मानं परमेश्वर द्रष्टुमिच्छामि ते रूपमैश्वरं पुरुषोत्तम। मन्यसे यदि तच्छक्यं मया द्रष्टुमिति प्रभो योगेश्वर ततो मे त्वं दर्शयात्मानमव्ययम्। श्रीभगवानुवाच पश्य मे पार्थरूपाणि शतशोथसहस्रशः नानाविधानि दिव्यानि नानावर्णाकृतीनि च। पश्यादित्यान् वसून् रुद्रान् अश्विनौ मरुतस्तथा बहून्यदृष्टपूर्वाणि पश्याश्चर्याणि भारत। इहैकस्थं जगत्कृत्स्नं पश्याद्य सचराचरम् मम देहे गुडाकेश यच्चान्यद्द्रष्टुमिच्छसि न तु मां शक्यसे द्रष्टुमनेनैव स्वचक्षुषा। दिव्यं ददामि ते चक्षुः पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम्।
Hare Krishna. So who is reading today?
Hare Krishna, Vinayak Prabhuji. Thank you once again for this opportunity. So 11.1, Arjuna said, by the supremely confidential spiritual knowledge which you have compassionately revealed for my sake, my illusion has been dispelled. 11.2, O lotus-eyed one, from you I have heard in detail about the origin and dissolution of living beings, and also your imperishable greatness. 11.3, O Supreme Lord, as you have thus described yourself, I wish to actually see your divine cosmic form, O Supreme Person. 11.4, O Lord, if you think it is possible for me to see it and strong enough to handle it, then, O Lord of all yoga, show me your imperishable cosmic form. 11.5, the Supreme Lord said, O son of Pratha, behold my forms, hundreds and thousands of various kinds, divine and of various sizes, colors and shapes. 11.6, Behold the Adityas, the Vasus, the Rudras, the twin Ashwins, and the Maruts. Behold many wonders, O descendant of Bharata, never seen before. 11.7 O good Akesha, Arjuna as conqueror of sleep. Behold here today the entire universe, with everything moving and non moving, all assembled together in my universal form, and whatever else you wish to see. 11.8 But you will not be able to see my cosmic universal form with your physical eyes. Therefore, I grant you divine vision. Behold my mystic opulence. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, thank you. Beautiful. So, how many of you remember what was the name of the previous chapter? It happened a long time ago.
No, it was all about the vibhutis.
Vibhuti Yoga.
Vibhuti Yoga.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it has 68 vibhutis.
Thank you. Thank you. So, the previous chapter was, of course, a very profound chapter. It was known as Vibhuti Yoga, where Krishna was talking about all his opulences. And he also said that they are just a small sample, because he said, like, I have infinite opulences. How many can I explain? I'm explaining only as much as it makes sense now in this context. So he is giving us, like, I think 82 opulences. And then Krishna described how he was the source of all spiritual, material worlds. And he was emphasizing how everything emanates from him. And he said many beautiful things, like how he was the taste in the water, the light of the sun, how he was the Om of all mantras, and so many other beautiful things that he was mentioning. So chapter 10 was like giving us a very breathtaking vision of the divine, where Krishna is standing as the ultimate reality behind all of creation. So what was the purpose of all of that? The purpose was to evoke a deep respect and love and reverence for Krishna by helping us understand his magnificence and how he is present in every aspect of the universe. Now, I want to let you know that chapter 10 was actually shorter than chapter 11, but still it was a very important chapter because it establishes a very strong foundation for everything else that Krishna will reveal going forward. So we need to understand that, as always, now we are going to start chapter 11, but all the chapters before this, they have slowly been building up. They have been connecting the dots. So every chapter is related and they are all culminating in this profound moment. That is why I always request that people, if you want to start a chapter, I request them to first at least go through the previous chapters, because these chapters are not like in isolation. They all have a very clear path. So Krishna is leading us to a profound truth step by step. So that's what is very important. So, for example, in chapter 9, Krishna was saying that he told Arjuna, he said, Arjuna, you need to practice Ananya Chintan. You remember? Ananyas Chintayanto Mam Yajana Paripasate Tesham Nityabhiyuktanam Yogakshemam Vahamyaham. The key there, again, he was telling Arjuna, you have to learn to practice Ananya Chintan. That was the key focus of 9th chapter. And then Arjuna is asking Krishna, that is fine. Help me understand. How can I always think of you? Then we come to the 10th chapter, where Krishna, he wants to help Arjuna. How he is helping Arjuna? By revealing all the amazing qualities about himself, all the opulences. See, if you look at chapter 10, if you go through all the explanations of chapter 10, you will come your own conclusion. You will come to realize that in essence, Krishna has told us that he's everywhere, in everything. Correct? Like if you look at the sun, you should know that the light is coming from Krishna. You look at the moon, you know that Krishna himself said, I'm the moon. You drink water, Krishna said, I'm the taste of water. See, if you understand that anything that you see has Krishna in it, how can you not do Ananya Chintan? See the beauty. So the beauty is, it's not that you have to sit somewhere in a temple, and only then you can think of Krishna. Krishna has given you the beautiful secret. He has said, doesn't matter what you look at, moving, non-moving, I'm in everything. So if chapter 10, if you have internalized it, if chapter 10 you have actually understood, then you would understand that Krishna is in everybody, he's in everything, he's in every aspect. So it doesn't matter what you are doing, you should be able to think of Krishna. Then Ananya Chintan, there is no other way, right? See, if you really, really understand chapter 10, you should become like those gopis. You remember? The gopis had the opposite problem. Remember the story where one gopi was looking very frustrated. Narada Muni comes and asks the gopi, he says, what is your problem? You look very frustrated. And the gopi says, I just can't stop thinking of Krishna. No matter what I do, no matter where I see, no matter who I interact with, Krishna is everywhere. How do I get that out of my mind? And Narada Muni is saying, you are such an elevated soul. You have reached that stage that all sages, they want to reach. You are already in that mode of Ananya Chintan. So that is what should be the outcome of internalizing 9 and 10. So chapter 9, chapter 10, if you truly understand, then we are already in the mode of Ananya Chintan. Now then chapter 11 starts. This chapter is known as Vishvarupa Darshanam. Okay, Vishvarupa Darshanam it is not just something, it's not just a action movie, or it's not just like something dramatic. This is supposed to be a life-changing experience. A life-changing experience that touches the soul of Arjuna. It is a moment of incredible spiritual awakening. And what is the speciality of this moment? This is the moment where the idea of God becomes real. In other words, the real transition from jnana to vijnana is happening in that moment. What was chapter 10? Chapter 10 was all jnana, where Krishna is theoretically saying, I am the Marut, I am the Aditya, I am this, I am that, I am the taste of water. That is jnana. But here in Vishvarupa Darshanam, it becomes vijnana, where in a moment Arjuna is able to see and realize that great moment. Very, very profound moment. Needless to say, till now Arjuna has been struggling. Our friend Arjuna. You all have been with him for now 10 chapters already. You see how he has been. He has been struggling, right? He has been struggling to understand the nature of self. What is the purpose of life? What is the way to liberation? How do I maintain samatvam? How do I do ananya? So many questions. So he has been struggling. And Krishna has been very patiently, lovingly teaching him, coaching him, giving him all the truths, all the wisdom. Okay. So now Arjuna seems to be ready. See, that is why I'm saying everything ties. We cannot just one fine day wake up and say, I need Brahma Gyan. It's not going to happen. Are you ready? It's like suddenly one day waking up and saying, today I need to compete in the Olympics. Are you ready? If somebody gave you the opportunity, let us say somebody gave you a ticket and they gave you a place, do you think you can really go and compete? No, you need a lifetime of preparation. Brahma Gyan is a lot more intense than a Olympics. No, that's why preparation is required. Continuity is required. Consistency is required. And Arjuna has been doing all of that, right? So as we are starting this, that is why I call this chapter as a very transformative chapter, because in this chapter, there is the transformation happening of Arjuna. He is really moving from jnana to vijnana. See, once vijnana happens, you are a transformed person. Then there is no going back. So this chapter 11, the revelations that happen, they are like the peak of Arjuna's journey. And this is where Arjuna's belief and faith becomes totally unshakable. Does anybody remember we used a term for that? Unshakable?
Avikampa.
Unwavering.
Yes, avikampa. This is the moment where Arjuna becomes a avikampa yogi. Because he gets the realization now. No longer in theorization. And his ego totally becomes humbled. This is the moment where Arjuna's ego is now totally gone, and he becomes totally ready. Now he is absolutely doubtless, and he is ready to fulfill his duties. Just like that, hopefully, my best wishes with all of you, my best wishes with me also, that by the end of 11th chapter, we all also become avikampa yogis, and we all also start facing the battles of life with a lot of josh and faith and conviction. Now see, picture it, how it looks like what was the scenario, like the battlefield, lot of tension. Is the Kurukshetra is the largest battlefield on the planet. Ferocious armies on both sides, all willing to pounce on each other. What a scene, And then, in the middle of all of that, Arjuna is turning to his friend, guide, philosopher, Shri Krishna. So this crucial moment, on one side there is this impending war, the biggest war on the planet. On one side there is so much destruction waiting to happen. And on the other side we have this dear student Arjuna, who's been a perfect student, but at the same time not an easy student, because he's had so many questions that Krishna had to patiently guide him, And now Krishna, he chooses that moment to reveal his divine nature, his divine form, his cosmic form, which is what is known as Vishvarupa Darshana. So then we also saw that the qualities that we read in the previous chapter, there was a categorization of female and male energies. You remember that? Yes, Shiva and Shakti. So we discussed about Shiva and Shakti, and if we want true success, we need to understand how to integrate Shiva and Shakti. This is what we studied in the previous chapter. Like we have to honor the masculine and feminine. In other words, we need to balance the stillness and the action, balance the being and the doing. That is what we learned as one of the key lessons. So, because I said that we need to prepare ourselves for realization, I'm again revisiting that topic so that we can think of a few more ways in which we can balance our energies and become even more ready to experience the divine energy. It's a very profound experience. If you can get even a glimpse of it, it's going to be transforming, but then you need to be strong enough for that. So what are the few things that we can do, few practices? It is in no way a complete list. I'm just giving you some examples. Later on, if you're interested, we can go through a lot more examples on what all we can do. But the first thing is always start your day. Wake up early. Very, very important. You have to wake up before sunrise. One of the reasons, it is not a religious thing. It is a very scientific thing. Because in our body, there are a lot of energies, and around the sunrise is when you get a peak burst of energy, because the body is getting ready to face the day. And if you know how to utilize that energy in a positive way, that sets you up for success. If you don't, that energy will start working in negative ways. That is why, there is this funny statement, that guy woke up in the wrong side of the bed. What does it mean, wrong side of the bed? No, it is not the bed which was a problem. The problem was he woke up the wrong way at the wrong time. And then the entire day seems to not work for you. So it is extremely important that we wake up before sunrise so that you can capitalize on that burst of energy which is given to you as a gift. Right before sunrise, nature gifts you with a spurt of energy. Now let us use that in the right way. That is the whole reason why we are asked to wake up before sunrise. And once you wake up, what do you do? Not Facebook, not Instagram. Okay? What you need to do is, as soon as you wake up, freshen up. There are some simple things you can do. After that, spend some time in meditation. Very important. Chanting, japa. Later on, whoever is genuinely interested, the genuine seekers, I will be gathering some of you and I will be teaching you Kriya Yoga also. That is one of the most profound ways to channelize your energies. That is what you can do. That is one of the techniques. So what we are doing there, we are accessing your inner stillness. You are accessing your Shiva before you can apply your Shakti during the day. And then after that, what do you do throughout the day? Throughout the day, practice a little bit of pause. That pause, the magic is in the pause. That is what helps you center yourself. Okay, and when you pursue goals, you have to pursue them. See, this is very important. Everybody is busy. Everybody has goals. Everybody wants to achieve this, achieve that. But the key, the spiritual secret there is pursue the goals with determination as well as surrender. They may seem contradictory, but they are not. They are complementary. They're very beautiful. So you have a lot of determination, but at the same time, you are in a mindset of surrender. Because you are focusing only on your action. You are not focusing on the result and you are not trying to take credit for the result. So, and also when you face challenges, try to face them strategically as well as courageously. With faith as well as with fortitude. So these are some of the few key things. I can write it down and send it to you as notes. But so what is the key message that Krishna is trying to give by talking about these energies and all of that is, the message is that of wholeness and integration. That is the secret to success. Okay. Like we cannot suppress or deny any part of ourselves or any aspect of ourselves. That is futile. We have to embrace. You have to embrace all the aspects of you. You have to embrace your masculine, your feminine. You have to embrace the Shiva, the Shakti, and find a harmony. That is the whole secret of achieving success. So even the smallest moment, for example, that other day, Deepaji was giving an example of how she was preparing for her presentation, where she said she tried to, reach out to Krishna, maybe just say Hare Krishna, whatever. That is an excellent example of a pause. That is an excellent example of what we are trying to teach here. Is access that stillness before you exercise your Shakti. Before you exercise your action, access your stillness. So before you do anything major or anything substantial, even getting into a car, why can't you just say Hare Krishna first? Or why can't you just think of God? So what you are doing is not just a religious thing of I have to say Hare Krishna, but what you are actually doing is you are trying to find that harmony. Harmony between accessing your stillness before you get into action. Very important. So with all this knowledge, let us have a lot of humility, and with a lot of humility and gratitude, let us approach this chapter and let us all get ready to witness the Vishvarupa Darshanam of Sri Krishna. And my blessings that let this turn out to be a transformative experience just like it was for Arjuna. And before that, make sure, apart from being humble, make sure that you also have your hearts are opened. Your heart needs to be opened up. Okay, that's what I told you. When I say be humble and keep an open heart, just two quick things, as I explained previously, is if somebody says you are suffering from ego or you are suffering from pride, what is the first reaction? Is it a defensive reaction? Is it an offensive reaction? Then that will tell you that you are still in a mode of pride. Okay, just like that, if somebody talks about love, what is the first reaction? Is it uncomfort or is it 100 questions? What kind of love and all of that? That means you are still not opened up, right? Because you have to feel totally comfortable. That means then your heart is open and you are in a mode of humility. So with that, let us proceed. So now let us see what is going on with our friend Arjuna. So Arjuna listened very carefully. He is a great student, perfect student, right? So he has absorbed everything that Krishna has told him in the 10th chapter. And then see how he responds to Krishna. In the 11th chapter at the beginning, Arjuna says, "Oh Krishna, as a result of whatever confidential knowledge, Guhyam Adhyatma, that you have given me till now out of love and blessing." See Arjuna's words here. Arjuna is saying, all the Guhya knowledge that you have given out of love and blessing, he's saying that based on that, my delusion has gone away. Moho ayam vigato mama. My delusion has gone. See, as I said, Arjuna is now going through a wonderful transformation now. Here is where he claims finally, after 10 chapters of knowledge and wisdom, here he claims, he tells Krishna that my moha, my delusion is now gone. So beautiful. He says, I now realize your infinite self. I realize that you are manifested in this universe. You are in everything. You are everywhere. Arjuna says, now I understood that. Very beautiful thing he says. He says, the distinction between I and you. He says, I understood that is because of delusion. And that has vanished now. He says, now I am convinced that you are the cause of all causes and you are present in everybody's heart. Oh Krishna. So beautiful. Now Krishna is, Arjuna is now saying, he's claiming, he's saying this moha, this delusion, he says it is gone. Can we claim that? Not yet, because we have not yet been like Arjuna. But that should be that we should strive for that. We should strive that at this point, even we should have felt like our delusion is gone. Okay. So my hope and my blessing is maybe after we complete Bhagavad Gita, at least by then our delusion should be gone, at least half gone. Then I think we should all feel good. Arjuna, he's addressing Krishna very beautifully. He's calling him as Kamala Patraksha, which means whose eyes are like lotus flower, which is large and soft and sweet and gentle. So he looks at the eyes and he feels that eyes are large, the eyes are soft, and they seem to have some sweetness and gentleness in them. You see, we cannot fully understand the Supreme Lord. That much I think we have all studied a lot and we all know. He is beyond our comprehension. The beauty is here, Arjuna has fully understood that Krishna is beyond his understanding. So he has understood that he cannot understand. Now that makes him a very great student, okay, by the way. That is humility and wisdom right there. Because see, in the previous chapter, Arjuna was calling Krishna's words as nectar. He didn't say like nectar. He said, Krishna, your words are nectar. And he was expressing his desire for more. He said, Krishna, I want more nectar, more nectar. Now he is overflowing with gratitude for all the wisdom that Krishna has shared, for all the nectar that Krishna has given him. Now Arjuna is full of gratitude. Yet he earns for something more. What is he earning for? Now he is earning for something more than just words. He is longing for a complete experience now. Something that will engage all his senses. He wants to behold Krishna's universal form. In other words, he's saying, Krishna, you said you are so many things. Now I want to see the many in one. Or in other words, I want to see the one with all the vibhutis. See, that is the natural way in which Arjuna is now approaching Krishna. So see, it should inspire all of us. It should inspire all seekers of truth. Because we have to remember again that, Supreme, the knowledge of Supreme is not just an intellectual analysis. It is a holistic experience. That is what we are studying. So eventually we should also have the longing that Arjuna has. The longing to experience now. Experience the divine. The divine experience should be a complete experience which involves body, mind, soul, everything. Just as Arjuna wants to witness Krishna and experience him, we should also have that kind of longing that I want to experience the divine. It should be a complete, absorbing experience, In other words, what I'm trying to bring out here, based on how Arjuna is now asking Krishna, is that let us not assume that the Lord is just some distant, formless entity. That is why we discuss the difference between Nirguna and Saguna aspects. Some schools will say that God is only formless. Some school will say, no, God is only with form. But we are saying here that don't limit God anyway, in any which way. God is limitless. And one step ahead of that is what Bhakti Yogis say. What the Bhakti Yogis are saying, they are saying God is a loving presence. God is a loving presence that can be experienced and embraced by every genuine seeker. That is an assurance, and that should also be the goal for all of us. Okay, so how is Arjuna approaching Krishna is also extremely important. There is an entire lesson to be learned just in that. Because in the 4th chapter, if you remember, Krishna spoke about how to approach. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshayanti ye jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha, where Krishna is talking about 3 things. First, pranipatena means approaching a spiritual teacher. Pariprashnena, by humble requests and humble questions, not questioning the teacher. See, right here, Arjuna is not saying, "Oh Krishna, you say you are very great, show me." That would be questioning the teacher. You think you are very great, no, convince me. That is questioning the teacher. But here Arjuna understands what is pariprashna. And then sevaya, rendering service to the spiritual guru. Because Arjuna has been leading by example. He has demonstrated all 3 of this. He is not demanding Krishna to show his form. But what does he say? See how he approaches Krishna. You pay attention to that shloka where he is saying, "Oh Krishna, if you think I am capable of seeing it, oh Yogeshwara, then show me your cosmic form." He is not saying, "If you are great, show me your form." He is saying, "If you think I am capable, then show me the form. If you think I can handle it, then show it." That is pariprashna. That is how you approach a guru and God. Very, very profound. And he is also calling Krishna as Yogeshwara. The context is very important because all of this Maya, we keep talking about Maya and Yoga Maya because Krishna's Leela, Krishna's manifestations, we all call that as Krishna did it using his Yoga Maya. That is why he is calling Krishna here as Yogeshwara. He is the master of all yoga. So what is one of the beauties of that, being a master of all yogas? He can become many. He can appear as many. And yet he can remain perfectly undisturbed as the one infinite. Beautiful. Have we learned something similar? And we recently spoke about Shanti Mantra. This is exactly what the Shanti Mantra is talking about. Anika ji, you remember Shanti Mantra? You want to try and help us?
Okay, Guruji, I'll try.
Okay.
So, Om Purnamata Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Excellent. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Oh, you're most welcome. It's our pleasure. So if you see, that Shanti Mantra is talking about the same thing. Purnamadam, that is perfect. Purnamidam, this is perfect. Purnat Purnamudachyate, all perfection comes from that perfect. Purnasya Purnamadaya, if you take away from that what is perfect, Purnameva Vashishyate, what remains is also perfect. So that is what is Yogeshwara, because he is such a master of all yogas that he can be many, he can look like he is many, he can look like he is so much. At the same time, he is undisturbed and peaceful as that one supreme. That is the whole crux of that Shanti Mantra also. So Arjuna is the perfect student. He always makes his request in a very appropriate manner. So here, because he is a perfect student who always approaches Krishna with humility the right way, Krishna always fulfills his request. Have you ever come across a single question in the Bhagavad Gita where Krishna says, "I am not going to answer that," or does he ever get angry with Arjuna, "Go get lost," or "What is wrong with you," or "Why do you ask me?" Right? It has never happened. No matter what the question is, Krishna is answering because Arjuna approaches the question the right way. Very important. So we may also have a million questions to God. That's okay, but do we know how to approach? The question is what is very, very important. And then what is Krishna saying? Krishna is responding. And he's saying, Arjuna, Pashya. Pashya means behold. Now, why does Krishna say Pashya? Because this message is for all of you. Whoever is feeling a little sleepy, or whoever is already thinking about cooking or office, or my son has to go to soccer, or my business. We have to pause all of that and Pashya, behold. Pay attention. That is what Krishna is saying. In Marathi also there is a belief. They say that Vitthala, the nature of Vittal is such that if you even blink, he will disappear. So if you are requesting Vittala's presence, then you have to be completely paying attention. No? So that is what Krishna is saying here. He's saying, Pasha, behold. And he's giving some example, some kind of a trailer. He's telling Arjuna what to expect. No, he's saying, Arjuna, you will see the Adityas, the Vasus, the Rudras, the Ashwins, all of that. In other words, he's giving Arjuna an idea what all is now going to come. So he's saying, now pay attention and behold that form that's going to come. And then Krishna also says that the entire universe, everything moving, non-moving, everything is assembled in my universal form. He's saying, so you can see whatever you want to see. So he's in a way telling Arjuna that doesn't matter what you desire to see, it is there. It will be present in what I'm showing you. Now it is up to you to pay attention and behold. Now I want to again revisit this whole theme of divine grace, because I think that is the crux of all of this initial opening of 11th chapter, because we cannot perceive Krishna's form by the ordinary human eyes. It's not possible. If you have to witness the divine grace, divine form, then we need to be graced with divine drishti. That is why even Sanjaya got divya drishti. Somebody had to give him divya drishti to see even the war from a distance. But what about seeing the divine himself? You definitely need divya drishti. You cannot see it from your physical eyes. But what is more important? That divya drishti has to be granted by the Lord himself. It has to be granted. It is his grace. It is his compassion. Right? Because that is what Krishna is doing here. He is voluntarily telling Arjuna, he's saying, Arjuna, I will show you my form, but you cannot see it with your physical eyes. I will grant you the divya drishti required, the divine vision required, so that you can see my form. See the love, see the compassion, see the magnanimity of the Lord. So this is what we need to really understand and feel good about, and it also highlights the intimate relationship between the divine and the sincere seeker. If you are a sincere seeker, you will experience the divine love. You will experience the grace. You will experience the compassion. It is waiting. It is waiting. The divine love is waiting. The divine grace is waiting. It's like a mother who is waiting at the door. Is the child ready to come home? Just like that, Krishna is there. He's saying, I'm willing. I want to give you my grace. Are you willing to be ready? Are you willing to prepare yourself? And the idea or the fact that Krishna is trying to also explain, he's leading by example always. So he's saying that if you are sincere, if you want to seek, I will actively help you. It is not that I'm sitting somewhere on a mountain top and you have to struggle and come to me. It's not like that. If you just show that you are sincere, that you really want, I will come and pick you up. I will come and take you to me. I will be involved in your journey, just like he's involved in Arjuna's journey. He is involved in Arjuna's journey in all aspects. When Arjuna was intellectualizing, he was also intellectualizing. When Arjuna was talking philosophy, he's also talking philosophy. See? And when Arjuna was surrendering, he's imparting divine knowledge. He's generating devotion in him. And when Arjuna is really, really ready, he's helping him experience. All of that he is there with Arjuna. So all Krishna asks is, have a pure heart, which doesn't have any deceit. Drop that baggage, drop that ego, drop that pride. Make room for the divine grace. And open your heart. Because if you don't open your heart, then how can you, if you don't switch on the TV, then Gana kaisa bajega? So open your heart. Simple. Krishna is not really asking you for anything very, very hard or difficult. Simple things only. So what is the takeaway for us? Based on this explanation that I've just given you, the takeaway is we also have to contemplate. We have to contemplate what is our relationship with the divine, our relationship with whoever is your spiritual guide. How is it? How is the relationship? We need to introspect on that. And we need to ask, are we like Arjuna? In other words, are we also as sincere and as consistent as Arjuna? Very important question. Okay. Are we also approaching the topic with humility, with an open heart? These two questions, if you can ask yourself. and keep asking until the answer is yes. Then you are on the way to success. Because if you try to emulate Arjuna's model, you will also get a realization of the Supreme, just like Arjuna got. Guaranteed. So it is basically encouraging us to look beyond the limitations of our ordinary perception. We have to go beyond that, and we have to seek that divine realization with humility. And it will be given. Now, picture this. Arjuna, mighty warrior, is standing. Lord Krishna on the other side. And now Arjuna is surrendering to Krishna. And he is saying, my delusion has gone away, Krishna. I totally understand what you have said. Now give me a glimpse of your divine form. And then the extraordinary happens where Krishna, in act of supreme compassion, he is granting Arjuna that Vishvarupa Darshanam. Now Arjuna's eyes, they are suddenly open to a reality which is beyond the limits of human perception. He is open to something that he could never have comprehended, never have imagined. He is beholding the entire universe with all the diversity. So this moment is very, very transformative. And what is at the heart of this transformation? The divine grace of the Lord. That is at the heart of this. See, because Arjuna's ability to witness this Vishwarupa was not simply based on his own efforts, were they? No, it was not based on his own efforts, although the efforts were important. Because Krishna himself said, consistency, conviction, ananya chintan. But that is not the reason why he got Vishwarupa Darshanam. They were important, but they were not the reason, they were not the cause. What was the cause? The cause was Krishna's grace. That is what we should always remember. The essence of divine grace, the unconditional love that Krishna has. It will come if you are a sincere seeker. So, it is not that you achieved something. You can never achieve it. None of us can claim to achieve the divine realization, because the divine realization has to be given. The same thing Narada Muni has said in Bhakti Sutra, where he said that, you have to love for the sake of love, but at the end of the day, the divine grace has to be there. You cannot expect to conquer, or you cannot expect to achieve or accomplish. There is nobody who has ever said, I've accomplished God realization. No. Everybody at the most will say, I've realized the divine. And it is always through the grace of the divine. So in other words, all the efforts that we put in, I'll give a simple analogy, okay, to make it easier to understand. All the efforts that Krishna is asking us to put, it is like sowing the seeds. Different kind of seeds. But do you think just because you sowed the seeds, do you think it's going to become a tree? No, that will be foolish to claim that the tree is because I sowed the seed. First of all, you didn't make the seed. It's made by somebody else, right? But what was very important for the seed to sprout? It needs sunlight. It needs water. It needs fertile soil. None of that is in our control. You can't control the sun. You can't control the rain. You can't control how good the soil is, correct? So that is what I mean by, but does it mean that you can get a tree even if you don't sow a seed? No. You have to do your part, which is sowing the seed, but just do it with humility. Do it with humility, saying, this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my rightful action and I'm doing it. But how it sprouts, when it becomes a tree, is all based on divine grace. Have the humility, but then have the faith that the divine grace is not partial. And my seed will sprout. That is all we are talking about. That is how you are supposed to approach this whole topic of spiritual evolution. You can never say that, I earned it or I demand it. Those things don't work. So, ultimately, divine grace, divine will, that's what's going to take us there. So let us cultivate, that is why we should follow Arjuna's example, where Arjuna is doing everything Krishna is asking him to do, but still at the end he's saying, Krishna, if you think I'm capable, show me. He's still not in the mindset of, Krishna, I followed everything that you told me to do. Now I am, I demand, or now I think I've earned the right that now you are supposed to show me. That is not what Arjuna is saying, right? So that is what we need to emulate. And I just want to point out that this whole aspect of divine grace and how it is extremely important, it is also being called out by multiple Upanishads. It's kind of rare, but I found that there is one shloka which is repeating in the Katha Upanishad as well as the Mandukya Upanishad. Usually things don't repeat exactly, they are usually in a certain variation, but this one shloka I found it to be repeating in both the Upanishads, pretty much word by word. So that's why I took that shloka here. It's a very beautiful shloka. It says, Nayam Atma pravachanena labhyo na medaya na bahuna shrutena yama vaisa vrunute tena labhyastasyasya atma vivrunute tanum swam. What does it say? This Atman cannot be attained by the study of Vedas or by intelligence or by hearing of other sacred books. This Atma can be attained by him alone whom it chooses. See? In other words, it is Atman that reveals its own form to a seeker. A seeker cannot go and hope and expect to see the Atman, but it is the Atman that has to reveal itself to the seeker. Isn't it beautiful? So let us embrace the grace of the divine. Let that grace be our guiding light and unwavering companion, and let us be assured that, we are not alone. The divine grace is all around us. The divine grace is waiting for us like a mother. All we have to do is be a good child, be a good student, have the humility, but at the same time have the conviction, put in your efforts with humility and have the faith. And the magic will happen because Krishna is promising that I will work with you. It's a collaborative effort. You take one step, Krishna will help you with the next two steps. And together, it can be a wonderful journey. And my blessings with all of you that may you all reach that stage of realizing the divine, just like our friend Arjuna. So Hare Krishna, with that I think we can conclude today's session. And if anybody had any questions, comments or doubts, I think you can open up.
Guruji, may I say something?
Yes.
The thing you said, Vitthal, if you by click of your eyes, the Vitthal can go away, right? It was the same thing repeated in Science Chitra. There was a story when Baba told a person who used to worship Vitthal will come. He's very snatchy. Just hold him tight when you see him.
Yes.
Yes. I was also thinking of the same thing when you were telling. And that is also in Satcharitram. Because Nana, he thought Sai Ram doesn't know Sanskrit. The same Tatvitti Pranipadene. That's Hari Krishna.
Yes.
The same thing.
Yes,
it was
yes,
also in that one.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you so much. So the idea basically is be attentive, be focused. So consistency, that is why they say be consistent. That is the whole message there. It should be like I'll give a very totally different example. Like, when you exercise, there are two types of exercises. One is called aerobic and one is anaerobic. So aerobic is all the cardio because that is what is supposed to keep you healthy. Not necessarily muscular, but healthy is all the cardio aerobic things. And I, was complaining to my son that I thought I made a lot of progress in my aerobics, in my cardio, and then I went for this India trip and I splurged for 2 weeks. And when I come back, I see that again my capacity has gone down. So I was feeling a little frustrated, and my older son was telling me, he told me something he didn't realize that what he told was profound, but he told me, he said, Dad, that cardio and all, don't look at it as an exercise. Look at it as a way of life. It has to be something ingrained. It has to happen every day. And I was like, wow. That is precisely what we are saying spiritual practice has to be. It's not like something you do in the morning for 5 minutes or 10 minutes and you're done. It has to be a way of life. How you approach everything, how you approach everybody. So I hope this is making sense. I hope you're all appreciating Krishna's wisdom and grace and love and compassion, and you're all feeling ready for proceeding in the journey. Did you have any other comments or questions or anything before we wrap up this session? Okay, then with that we can wrap up today's session while you are still feeling excited and all. Hare Krishna. See you all in the next session. Take care. Stay blessed.
Jai Sai Ram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, dear Satsang family.
Yes,
Hare
Ekant,
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.